So for those involved in more advanced structuring in terms of wealth planning, tax planning, and so on, it's important to understand the network of European territories and dependencies. So this is the first in a series of videos where we'll take a deeper dive into European dependencies and territories around the world. As we take a deeper dive into British overseas territories and dependencies, can you talk to us a bit about the military territories of Cyprus?
Yeah, okay. So when Britain gave the independence to Cyprus in 1960, they had taken it over because Cyprus wanted to join up with Greece, and so they took it over, but there was a lot of fighting going on. A lot of 360 British soldiers were killed in the insurgency that was going on. So they gave independence to Cyprus and said, yeah, but you can't join Greece, okay? But we're going to keep 2 military bases because they just lost the war with Egypt over the Suez Canal. Remember America kicked them out and so on. So they wanted to be close to there. So they kept 2 military bases, and it's a permanent agreement that they'll keep those 2 military bases. The locals don't like this at all, but it was just part of the agreement of becoming independent. And so there's nothing that they can do. And what's interesting is when Turkey... So in 1974, there was a lot of talk about Greece and Cyprus joining up again together, and Turkey wouldn't accept that. So Turkey invaded in 1974, and they would have conquered the whole island, except they advanced as far as the military bases were, and then they stopped because they didn't want to fight with the UK. So today, one of the military bases is on the border with northern Turkey, Turkish Republic, and then the one is about 100 kilometers to the west. So those 2 territories, one is called Akrotiri, which is an ancient village that was destroyed on one of the Greek islands, Santorini, that's right. And the other one is called Dhekelia. So this is pretty unique because it's not run by a governor or administered by a governor like other territories. It's administered by the Ministry of Defense, and the most senior military person there is like the governor. And the tax situation is extremely complicated, and that's why no one's looked at this for tax planning. So the treaty that set this up, the military bases, is unique. It's completely different to what you see on the other military base of Ascension. There, civilians are allowed to live on the base, and in fact there's 11,000 civilians living on the base. Until a few years ago you had to be Cypriotic, but today you can be EU resident or EU citizen. And there's villages that are like spilled over, half in Cyprus territory and half in the base territory. And so the rule is, if you're Cypriot, you are taxed, your tax goes to the Cypriot government. And same with any business that's there. So even the fish and chip shop and gym is taxable in Cyprus. But UK personnel and their spouses are not tax resident in Cyprus. Their tax goes to the UK, but they are not UK residents. So even if you look on the Google map and you see it says UK, the borderline of these SBAs says UK on one side and Cyprus on the other. That's not true. It's the UK territory on the one side. And so if you're a spouse of a military person, especially if you're British, if you're earning money, let's say you're consulting or doing something on the internet, then you pay tax to the UK. But if you own a house and the house is in the company would pay tax to Cyprus. So there's the flaw in everything. The flaw is the spouse of the military people. They are not tax resident in Cyprus. They pay tax to the UK, but they are not tax residents. So this is a unique flaw in the world. So if some people stay there forever, they even own property there, they're going to stay there, the military. It's not like the short term in other military bases like Ascension. So some people have got 2-3 homes, they're going to live there, they're going to retire there, and civilians are allowed to retire. So if you get a wife or a spouse, because could be the female, could be the military person, and they are a trustee of a foreign trust. Best Trust, which I'll explain later on, is a UK trust. If they are the trustee of a, let's say, UK trust, it's not registered in the UK because it's a non-UK trust, non-resident trust, and it's not registered in the basis because they don't have laws regarding companies or taxes. And so there's a lot of planning you can do with a UK citizen resident of the base being a trustee. And to make it better, I combine this with other territories. So some people say, I don't want to trust with the individual trust. That's too dangerous. Trustee might die. Then we can have dual trustees, one in Norway and one in Akrotiri. So this seems popular with my clients.
Very interesting indeed. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much again for sharing your incredible insight. What's the best way for someone to find you or to reach out to you to get in contact?
My website, co-ownershiptrust.com. And then you'll find 850 articles.